Ooh, well, hey, don't call it a comeback because I've been here for years. It's not LL Cool J, but it's your boy Hollywood Ray, and I'm here with my guy Money Mike. It's his birthday week as we record this, so his birthday is going to be on Friday. It is a payday, so well, for me, one of us a payday for Money Mike. But yeah, welcome to Missing the Point, man. We have a lot of things to get into. Some team on Lansdowne made a trade, so we're going to get into that. But before we get into that, man, how you doing? I miss you, brother. It's been a minute.
Yeah, I miss you too. This is our first show together in, God, what, a month?
Yeah, realistically, yeah. Been the life of a teacher, the life of a Fenway employee. Like I said, we're going to get into that in a minute. But yeah, it's been a lot. But hey, I'm here, and like I said, shout out to you, DK, Bobby, Craig. Like, you guys have held it down as usual. And yeah, I'm looking for it to be the summer of Ray. Only a few of y'all are going to get that reference, but I'm here to make money, not friends.
Love that for us.
But speaking of, saving money, not making money, but saving money, and definitely not making friends, the Red Sox front office strikes again. The news broke on Sunday night. We're recording this on a Tuesday. The news broke on Sunday night after a sleep. So before I even get to that, man, just what was your thoughts on just how they played against New York so far this year, and just them kind of riding high at this moment? Because like I said, they were kind of going back and forth, but they've seemed to kind of right the ship a little bit for now. We'll get more into it, but just what were your thoughts after that? How was you feeling after that sleep on the weekend?
Well, I mean, listen, coming out of Sunday night against the Yankees, they had won 5 in a row. It felt like they had started to kind of right the ship. All the talk about our then star player, not wanting to change positions, it kind of felt like it simmered down. The team was gelling. They're like, okay, not only are they competing with the Yankees, but they swept them.
Right.
Like, this is a great sign. And then this front office they have done consistently over the last 5 years, and that is kick you square in the dick just when you're feeling good. I mean, so I'm sorry, like, to get right into it, but after the game where Devers hits a home run, they trade him for literally a bag of fucking balls.
Right.
They're trying to spin it. They're trying to say, like, it's about adding pitching, all of this. Like, don't Breslow, Henry, whoever the fuck's running this team.
Cam Kennedy, all of them. Yep.
Don't bullshit a bullshitter.
Right.
This is about dumping $250 million worth of salary so that you can pay for the fucking Penguins, so that you can continue making DK's life happy and paying for Liverpool. It's ridiculous. I think Bill Simmons, said it the best, and I'm not much of a Bill Simmons guy.
Right.
But he said, this is a special team that is not being treated special by ownership anymore. And I wholeheartedly agree.
Right. Yep. Yeah, I mean, I'm there with you. Like I said, I'm wearing this is David Ortiz's jersey. So, and I thought it was very, because people are like, oh, he's paid by them. He's he's an ambassador of the Red Sox. He didn't have to speak. There's plenty of stuff that's going on that he hasn't spoke on in the last few years. But once again, if there's anyone that went through what he went through, it was David Ortiz.
Right.
He played first base most of the time in Minnesota. He comes here. He becomes a platoon player, right? For those who don't know that, he split his time of DH, split his time at first base, and then once he became a valuable bat after hitting 188, early in the 03 season, the man went on an absolute tear the rest of his career as a DH, and then
for 13 years went on a tear.
Yeah, went on a tear. Absolute tear. So to me, I'm just like, why would you not want to have that same career trajectory? You weren't Brooks Robinson. Sorry, that's a very old school reference, but you weren't Brooks Robinson. You weren't Cal Ripken. You weren't Ozzie Smith, right? You weren't Chipper Jones, to take someone from our era. You weren't David Wright. You weren't these guys. So to say that you wanted to play third base and that's your position, that's your thing, not wanting to be fully bought in, to me, is problematic. Now, I still wouldn't have dealt him. No, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't have done it. Once again, you're talented. You need to be here. We need as much talent as possible. But I was blown away at the timing, right? And, that's all the pundits have been saying, right? It's the timing. Once again, it's not a shocker that he got dealt, right? That's not a shocker.
No.
But it's the timing. It's like, it's like maybe even if you did this at the All-Star break, that might have been a little more easier to swallow, right? But like I said, you do it when you're riding high on Father's Day. You dominate the Yankees, winning 5 out of 6, right? Then now, I know they have a 6-game winning streak now because they beat Seattle, Monday night from Corbett. So it's wild. It's wild to me. But yeah, there's no way that anyone could say they're better in the immediate, right?
The Giants are.
Oh, right. But I mean, yeah, the Giants are obviously, shout out to them for making that move. Once again, I mean, it's cool that they took on that whole salary as well. This reminds me of 2012 when, Beckett and Carl Crawford and the Adrian Gonzalez, they all got dealt to LA, and LA took on a majority, if not all of that salary. And now we know what happened the next year, Boston Strong, they win the World Series. I don't think that's the trajectory that this team takes. I actually do believe, Russell, that I do think they'll be better than what we expect, but not to the point where they're winning in the high 80s, low 90s, and making a run in the wild card round, if not deeper. It's gutless, it's spineless, and we've all been worked. We've all been worked, and and once again, for those that are WWE fans, you gotta say every reference we're making, but you're gonna work Red Sox fans into a shoot. Look, hey,
Well, I was just about to say that. I think they've already done it.
no,
I mean,
yeah,
if
facts.
you just think about the history of this, right? So it all started with Mookie Betts in 2020, continued with Xander Bogaerts in 2022, Verdugo in 2023, and now Devers in 2025. They have systematically removed every young or in their prime star from that 2018 championship run, and they've received nothing in return. And every single time we're told it's about solidifying the bullpen or restocking the farm system. And it's just bullshit.
Wow. Listen, when you go 108-54, wasn't like they went 90-72-1. They went 108-54. That was easily the best Red Sox team of our generation. Easily. You had the best young outfield in baseball with Benintendi, Betts, and Bradley.
I'd still probably put 07 ahead of them. 07 was a wagon.
108 wins, man. I think from what we saw in the postseason, I mean, granted, they both were obviously dominant teams, but yeah, I mean, I take as much as I love Chris Sale, I take 07 Beckett over anybody we've had just outside of Pedro. 07 Beckett was unbelievable. So, and that's the edge, or that's going to give him the edge, and I'm fine with that. But we're only using 5 years context, but even long before we were born, you had Fred Lynn, you had Jim Rice, and you had Dwight Evans, and that trio didn't stay together. You had Mike Greenwell, who was the AL MVP here. They have never had an issue finding a star outfielder. And I think that's what's in their head. Like they always will find someone that can do damage in the outfield, right? That's just what they do. It's just been the way they run the organization. Like I said, it's funny. It took people like Damian Woody of all people to say you're running the organization like Tampa Bay. To me, and that's insane to me because once again, this is not Tampa Bay. This is not
Kansas. And Chaim Bloom's not here, and they're still doing it. This is the cynical part of me is like, okay, their workers are threatening to go on strike, so let's just free up some $250 million to do that, right? Also, they don't they don't think the asset in their portfolio are the Red Sox. They think it's Fenway,
right?
They think that they're still going to get 15,000 tourists per game, along with 10 to 15,000 diehards, no matter what, and they'll be able to put 1 to 2 million people in that stadium every year.
So now, like I said, now that I'm in the building, I'm there. It's not far off.
I know.
every night. It's
There's 28 to 30,000.
shout out to my guy Rich. Yeah, shout out to Rich because he was like, "This is crazy that they're doing, how they're moving." But yeah, once again, when you got folks coming in to say pitches on the monster, and you had the whole boxing event there a couple weeks ago, like folks are always gonna come for the attraction, and because they know that, once again, you need someone with the hunger of Larry Lucchino. You don't have that no more. So once again, Sam Kennedy's from here. He's from the crib. He's from here. And Sam Kennedy just doesn't. I'll put it like this. I think there's moments where he wants to have more success, but if you're one of the cronies for Henry, you got to fall in line,
But
and
so
sucks. But it's just like that's just what it is.
at some point in time, it shifted from wanting to go see the Red Sox play at Fenway Park to now going to Fenway Park to see the Red Sox play. All the same words, structured differently.
Yep.
And they know it. And honestly, yeah, this is to our girl. Hi, Slip. We love you, but shame on you if you still go. Ray gets paid to go, right? If you continue to
but we just talked about this, Brett. We did talk about it, Brett, because I was asking you about I won't say where she sits at, but you told me about your tickets. You see the tickets with you and Hillary. So hey, what's up, Hillary? How you doing? But like, the only way I want to see you this summer is I just run into you. Do not come by and say hello. Do not. It's not worth it. Like I said, I'm getting, like I said, Mike said, I'm getting compensated to be there.
You're getting paid to be there, and until people stop paying to be repeatedly,
I don't know if we'll get to that. And once again, Dan Lipschitz brought up on Twitter, some others are they're imploring, they're begging for that to happen, right? And once again, we say this all the time. Listen. And I guess, and maybe the cynical side of me, and I've said this before. I said it with Mookie. I said it even with Bogaerts leaving or whatever. Even though Bogaerts has not been the same since he's left. I'm sorry. I saw my childhood hero get traded, and Nomar Garciaparra. If he got dealt, anybody can get moved.
It's so funny.
Like that's crazy.
It's so funny that you brought that up because I was trolling like Red Sox Reddit. And there are some delusional, like Kool-Aid drinking, sucking right from Wally fans saying, this is just like the Nomar trade. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's actually, some would say the opposite of that because Nomar was a guy in that clubhouse, as we talked about last year on the 20th anniversary show. Go back and listen to that. You can find them in show notes. That he was a guy that was on his way out and was causing grief in the clubhouse. He was bringing the entire team down. And so they got a good first baseman. They got a pretty good shortstop in Cabrera. And they went on a run. Right. There's nobody left to go on a run with on this team as it's currently constituted.
And I said this on Twitter the other day when it happened. Like, Devers being gone before Trevor Story is a choice. Like, right. That's a choice because Trevor Story, right or wrong or fair or foul, just to keep it baseball related, fair or foul has become Gordon Hayward, right? Someone that had good moments elsewhere comes here, as a highly talented signing. Once again, defensively, he's been everything that he's been advertised as. Like, dude is phenomenal defensively. Unfortunately, like I said, he was just always getting hurt, and then when he would go on a run, something else would happen. So he seems to be getting back on track right now offensively. So we're going to need it. We're going to need him to be, what he was in Colorado. Once again, not fully, but just at least 70 to 75% of that. We're going to need that. But yeah, Devers being gone before Trevor Story is absolutely a choice. And once again, it's not a knock on Trevor. It's just, once again, his production has not equaled the contract because it was out of his control. So I acknowledge that. But it's amazing to me that, once again, if you're going to go full youth and bring up Mayer and bring up Campbell and bring up Anthony, you're bringing up the big three. Why not turn it over to them completely? Why not? If that's the case, just turn it over to them. Give her a story. trade Abreu. I don't know. That's just where I'm at with it. If you're gonna do all that, I guess they're saying they're not punting on the season, but I'm just like,
Of course they are. Of
no,
course they
of
are.
course they're right. No, of course. But I'm saying, but like, you can't say that you're not punting on the season and you trade your best player. Like I said, once again, when Nomar got dealt, because once again, yes, I like Manny. Yes, I like David Ortiz. Yes, I like Kevin Millar and Veritek, and yes. But once again, I said this on the show. I said it on other shows. Nomar was this. He was the guy in this town. He was the guy. It wasn't Paul Pierce. It wasn't Antoine Walker. It wasn't a young Tom Brady. It wasn't Joe Thornton. It was number 5 shortstop Nomar Garciaparra. Like the guy that hit 3 home runs against Tampa Bay. The guy that hit 2 grand slams. Like that was the guy. The guy that jumped into the stands. Like he was the man. He was the man. And I'm just like, once again, when I saw that move happen, I was like, if he can get, if that guy who did that much for this city and was the rookie of the year and, hit 370,
370.
yeah, 370, like anyone can go. Once again, we saw Manny go.
But
yeah.
the difference though is like, I guess there are parallels if you really want to think about it, but
Mm-hmm.
Nomar went from being the guy that you just listed all those accolades for to a guy that wouldn't pinch hit in a game against the Yankees because it was a scheduled day off. And he watched Derek Jeter dive 5 rows into the stands to catch a foul ball.
Right.
Like that's what happened.
Right.
He gave up on the team.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, this might be a wild take. I'm done with Cora.
Yeah.
I'm good with him.
Yeah.
He can't do it. Like he clearly either he can't motivate the team or there's such a communication break between him and Breslow that Breslow's not going to allow Cora to run the team the way that he needs to run it. So maybe it's time to part ways with him too. Right.
But I've been on that for about the last year or so because I'm just like, I once again, we're forever thankful for 2018. We're thankful for him coming back after that Ron Renicky year in 2020, and they went on a nice run. And even then, it's like, they didn't build off that. Like 2021, you get good years out of Hunter Renfroe. You get a phenomenal postseason run out of Kike Hernandez. My God, that was
Gone.
That was right. You know what I'm saying? But that was Carlos Beltran level, numbers that he did that year. So you know what I'm saying? It was just like, okay, you can build off this, and then you sign Story in the offseason that year. Like, okay, all right, that's a nice valuable piece. And it just didn't come together the way that it could have or even should have. And Sale was still hurt, and it was just kind of a downward spiral.
Cy Young Award winning.
Yes, right. Well, I mean, listen, we have sung his praises on here, and we'll continue to do so. And once again, to give them credit, even though they lucked into it, I guess again, they have the guy again in Garrett Crochet. He is everything that he was advertised to be. He clearly was just in a terrible situation and needed a change. That dude is lethal. And I said it, and when we got, I was like, I looked at the tape because I didn't really see him last year. He's John Lester with a liver arm. Like it's unbelievable. He's a strikeout machine. He pounds the zone. He does everything that you want an ace to do. And the only reason why his record is that bad is because they haven't scored when he's been on the mound.
Right.
Which is crazy, because, it's just, let's say he should be 10. He should be like 10-2 right now.
Yeah. I mean, he's 6-4 with a 2.24 ERA.
Crazy.
Fucking 2.24. And I bring that up because you just traded for a part of this Devers trade was you received Jordan Hicks, a 28-year-old sporting a 4.23 ERA in his career. You have Kyle Harrison, who's a 23-year-old prospect, right?
And then you option him. But no, don't leave out that part. They optioned the guy to AAA, which once again, that in context, I get it, right? You want him to work on some of the mechanics. Fine. That's not baseball wise, that makes sense. You can't do that right away after you dealt. Like, that's insane. That's crazy. That's
Right. So essentially, you traded Devers for Jordan Hicks and 3 minor leaguers.
And it is it might not have been you and might have been me and Bobby. I don't know. I can't remember. There was a rumor in off season that we were looking to get Vlad from Toronto right before he signed the.
No, it was you and me.
Oh, it was okay. It was okay. It was okay. Okay. And remember, it might have been you, but either one of us said it. We was like, hey, if you could swap Devers for Vlad,
Sure.
that I'd have been like, hey, let's go. That's different because you get the right-handed power bat that you've been looking for. You get someone that can play the corners. He can play first and third, and you know that he's going to hit a ton of home runs. Like, and you get the flair because once again, his swing and his flair was made for Fenway, right? And I'm just like, you had that on the table. Once again,
Yeah, we'll just do three minor leaguers. It's fine.
Yeah, like I said, even once again, even when you go back to the Manny deal, you got Jason Bay back in the deal. And people say what you will about Jason Bay. He was really good here. He was really good in his uniform. Really good.
Yep.
To me, I just feel like I don't understand it. I really don't. Like I don't get how. And once again, maybe like they said, no, I think I was on 95. Like I get it. Maybe they just said, hey, we have a team that's going to take the full salary, and we don't really have to take much back. Just go ahead and do it. And once again, we'll find out more as time went on. But like I said, yeah, if he was that adamant about not playing, if he was that much of a
I think but sorry to cut you off. I do think he handled that poorly, but I also think the onus is on the Red Sox organization.
Yes.
You have the entire offseason and you wait till the guy shows up in spring training to say, hey, we want you to play first.
I don't think they didn't know they were going to get Bregman. So why would you bring it up if you don't know you're going to get Alex Bregman yet? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think to me, you want to massage the ego a little bit, which I think is what they were doing. And then Bregman comes basically on a 1-year deal for $40 million. And I've been seeing it on Twitter. So let me say this. Can I agree? Give him what he wants.
And they won't, but sure.
Yeah. If he needs 2 more years at 30 million, whatever, like give that to him because he would be like, he was becoming the best player before he got hurt right now. Somewhere with Bregman. So he was money defensively. Everything that he came as advertised. Like he was awesome. And I think that he probably stays now because, his market will be a little different now that he's been hurt too. So you might be able to get him on a little cheaper deal, but just, or give him longer years just for stability. But yeah, it's wild. It's wild to me that they went down this route this abruptly. Once again, not a shock that the deal happened. It's how it happened. And I mean, once again, it was thank God that Roman Anthony hit a home run in the first game in Seattle, which once again, like Tom Curran said, because baseball, right? Devers had his first home run in Seattle too in 2017. So my thing is, hey, we're gonna have Anthony here for 8 years, and we're gonna trade him too.
I was going to say, enjoy Roman Anthony for the next 6 years until he gets hot and he's in his prime. Then we're going to trade him.
So I think May is going to be the best out of the 3 of them, personally.
All right, so he's gone too.
I think I know. Just I was there for the game. He hit 2 home runs the other night. That swing is beautiful.
You were paid to be there.
No, right? Yes, correct. Yes, right. I'm saying like, wait, that swing is beautiful, and he's really good in the field too. Like that's what I'm saying. Like certain positions, just like how we talked about with the Patriots, like certain positions they just hit on. They hit on the middle infield. They hit on the outfield. Like that is something they have historically been just really good at doing. Now you're just gonna find some pitchers that can, once again, G Little was awesome last night. He's starting to get healthy. It looks like again. We know where Crochet has been. It'd be good to see Walker Buehler get back on track. He's been reeling as of late. So they got some guys there that can throw it. Once again, you're gonna get Sandoval from LA the second half of the season. So hopefully he's able to eat up some innings. But I don't know. They gotta get another bat there. And I don't know what bat that would be.
Let me ask you a question.
No.
If you weren't paid to be in Fenway, and you weren't on a highly successful weekly Boston sports podcast. Would you watch the Red Sox now?
Well, because I'm a fan, yes, but it just wouldn't be as much. Not as much. But
So,
I'm a fan. Yeah.
so what would they have to do to get you to tune out completely?
To tune out completely? Probably going a massive loser streak, right? That's part of it. But also, and I guess maybe because I guess it's different for football. The football is only 16, 17 games. I want to see them be more competitive than to keep going 81 to 81 as they've gone the last couple of years, right? Because right now they're still
because of the moves that they make, though. Like, the reason I'm asking you this,
right.
And I'll let you finish your thought is
Yeah.
the difference between you talking about the Patriots when they do stupid shit or when they're struggling versus right now the Red Sox. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Like you're like still calm about the Red Sox. They just need to add a bat, a couple of pitchers, and they'll be fine.
Because I no, okay, I'll and I'm glad that you, brother, because no, that's a fair point to call me out on. The reason why I think I feel that way, one, it's a much longer season, right? So you can get one or two guys in there, and we've seen it. You catch fire, you go on a run. You only have 17 games of football, so you could be out of that motherfucker by October. You could be done, and we've seen it. We saw it last year. And actually, we might need to touch on that too, because the comments came up for Keon White. I was like, I smiled from here, and I thought about you. So we might be able to talk about that a little bit too. But I was like, wow. I said yeah. You could be out of it by not even October. You could be out of it by September if you don't play well, right? And so you have to hit the ground running in football because your season can end quick. And it's more fun. Yes, it's more fun to see rants and be upset and get crazy. Yes. But it's more fun to be the villain that we've been for most of our lives. I'd rather see that. I don't want to be a part of mediocrity. I don't want to be a part of a team that's at the bottom on a regular basis. So,
but you would argue, like, you would accept the fact you're more accepting of the Red Sox purposely putting themselves into mediocrity than you are the Patriots.
Yes, because like I said, but it's to me, it's only because of the season left. If the season was shorter, I would feel different. Because like I said, you see me get mad about the Celtics. I'm saying I don't watch the Bruins enough to get upset, but I'm there enough to I'm like, hey, put a product out here that's going to give me money come April. That's what gets me upset. I'm like, so shout out, let's say, hey, Marco Sturm, hey, you came into the first pitch last week, but let's get some talent on the ice so that I'm getting playoff money because it was a gift from my pockets. So please, Marco Sturm, please, Joe Mazzulla, please, Alex Cora. I need y'all three. Once again, if I could do Gillette, I would too, but I just don't have enough time. My schedule's crazy. But please, find a way to get better because their playoff money is good money. And those that listen to the show, because y'all know y'all work with me, y'all know I'm telling the truth. So the playoff money is good. So please find a way to get back there because June has been a long month with no money. So I'm like, please find a way to come back. But yeah, it's only about season left. It is. And once again, we've gone off about John Henry before. So I'm not a fan of John Henry.
No, but there's a distinction though. You rail against John Henry.
Yeah.
You rail against Bob Kraft. Sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Last year when your mom took you to a Patriots game for your birthday in August for preseason, you said that you would never pay your own money to go there.
Right.
Now you're not paying to go to the Red Sox. You are being paid.
Right.
But it does sound like you're willing to put up with more bullshit from the Red Sox organization than you are from the Patriots. And if you're saying that that's just because of the length of the season,
well, no, this part also too, I feel like we've seen, I guess, because for the last 25 years, we've seen more dominance from the Patriots than we have the Red Sox. Yes, the Red Sox have won 4 championships, yes, but we've had so many down years in between. Like, okay, they win in 04, they get swept by the White Sox in 05. Varitek and some others get hurt in 06. So
Ortiz has a heart attack in 06.
Yes. Right. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. So then you come back 07, you dominate. You win the division 08 but you get beat by a young Tampa Bay team. Then at the Angels finally beat y'all in 2009. More people get hurt in 2010. The Chicken and Bears 2011. The Bobby Valentine's Day Massacre is 2012. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I just felt like they had more pendulum swings the last 25 years, right? And we were just always accustomed to be like, oh, well, it's the Red Sox. Like, and I think it's because of what happened before '04. Like, it was just always like, well, they just get there. So it's like they had more of a gravy train in some people's eyes, right?
Right. So that's why I'm bringing it up, is because prior to '04, the fan base, we were all much more rabid than we are now.
Right.
But it felt like, for the most part, even you can hate Dan Duquette.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to build a team.
Yes.
To get us there.
Yeah.
It feels like fundamentally this front office is doing the opposite.
Correct.
Well,
I've gone on in front of it. I said, hey, John Henry, you rested on your laurels. And I mean, once again, so if that's the take, then sure, like I'm with you, because we've talked about that at length. You should be doing more because people want to come. Well, yeah, that's okay. Let's go there, right? People want to come to Fenway Park. They want to come there. It's not like they get there and say, man, you gotta come to Fenway. Like, even from the workers, people enjoy coming there. I can't always say the same thing about TD Garden, but they thoroughly enjoy coming to Fenway, because it's by far the most friendliest place I've worked at. By far.
Right.
By far.
Well, again,
I mean, I actually, you know what? I'll tell a story, because I got a chance to meet Jim Rice. And so, sorry, Jim, if I'm telling the story, but hey, whatever. It's for the show. It's for the content. Love you, though. Jim Rice, was there. Been there forever. Red Sox lifer, Red Sox Hall of Famer, MLB Hall of Famer. And, he was like, this team needs some fucking players. Period. And this is early in the season. This is when they was kind of starting to scuffle a little bit. He was like, they need some fucking players. He was like, it's hard to watch. He was like, because he brought a little bit of that story that happened down in spring training. He's like, just fuck.
And then that team traded their best player.
Right. So again,
I don't want to harp on this. I want to make sure I speak into the microphone. I don't want to drop out. But when you think about the way that you talk about the Lighthouse and Gillette Stadium and Patriot Place, you don't talk the same way about Fenway Park. And it's the exact same thing. They're doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, I think it's because I look at it as like it's all gravy. Like, meaning like it's just you know what I'm saying? So maybe that's the wrong way to look at it, but I just think like it was all great. Once again, of course, I want to see them compete and be more. And I'm sure I've had a rant about that in the past, about them competing more, or mainly Henry putting a product on the field that could be competitive, because the fan base deserves it. Once again, for those that don't know about Boston sports, and once again, I would die on this hill. When the Red Sox are on fire, they are number one in this town. And it's not close.
I think that's true before they won their first one. I don't think it's true anymore.
Well, I mean, I feel like but even remember 2018. I remember the Mookie Betts at bat against J.A. Happ in Toronto, when Dennis Eckley was like, it's time to party. That place was rocking. That place was shaking. Like, that team, you just knew a special moment was going to happen. Then Mookie Betts has the game winner against Minnesota that year. I remember the Brandon Phillips home run in Atlanta when he only played for 2 weeks here, hit a home run and make up. They were down 7-1, came back. Like, you remember those moments. Like, when that team is on fire, there's no better ticket in town. Like, that place is rocking, which is like, I don't understand. Like I said, that's why I don't go back to how you make that type of move right now. You would think you would want to maintain that level of play or level of dominance, because once again, we've seen the most dominant team. Once again, when you win 108 games and you beat the Yankees 3-1, who won 100 games that year, right? And then you beat the defending champs in the Houston Astros, you beat them 4-1, right? And then you beat the Dodgers 4-1. Like, it was easy. It was easy. Like, it was easy how they ran through them. And you had Sale, you had Price, you had, Craig Kimbrell. It was crazy. So that's how I see it. But yeah, if that's the angle, yeah, you're not wrong. I just think, like, for me, it's just been more of like, everything has been gravy, because it was like, damn, They finally got there. They won it. And I think with New England, because we have seen them be at the door so many times, we've seen 10 Super right. We've seen 10 Super Bowls appearances in our lifetime. 10. 10. Once again, we've seen 4 of the rest of they won all 4. But we've seen 10 Super Bowl appearances. So a third of our life, or almost a quarter of our life, because we've been out some mid to late 30s, for a quarter of our life, we've seen them competing for a Super Bowl. So yeah, your brain is wired differently. I want dominance. I'm not looking for you to be 7-10 and saying, tell me the rebuild is coming. No. And once again, we just saw it happen with Keon White. Oh, I feel like I got a coach now. I couldn't wait. I was like, I hope I'm back on with Mike, because it was like, hey, I don't want to hear this is year 1 to rebuild, because of bullshit like that. That man came in there and he ruined it. He ruined another year that they could have got better. Because once again, we would have been fine with 7-10. We would have been fine, because that would have been progress from the year before. We've been okay with that. We would have came on and been sunshine and rainbows with Karen. So, okay, we look forward to talking to you over the summer as well. But we would have been fine with that. But you 4-13, do you win the last game out of spite that we missed Travis Hunter because of you? Nah. I can't get with that. I can't get with that. I can't respect that. So I'm glad he's gone. But yeah, that's what it is. But this turned into the baseball hour, so I appreciate that. Like I said, you guys can leave your comments below when we drop this. But yeah, I mean, let us know. I'm sure you guys are a lot more angry than how we sound and how I sound. But we'll see how this unfolds, because once again, those guys to be an integral part of something in the future. It just won't be right now. And it's unfortunate, because like I said, you should get more than a bag of balls, as Mike alluded to, but it is what it is. So, go.
I literally lost my voice talking about this.
Yeah, crazy. Well, don't lose it completely, because there's still some NBA finals stuff to get into. So the Thunder on the verge of doing what our wonderful Celtics did last year on this date, 6/17, right? 6/17, 2024. They became the world champions for the 18th time. So. But no, OKC is up 3-2 against Indiana. Shame on those that have thought that this would be a terrible series. And I say shame, I'm speaking to myself, because I'm Mr. Big Market himself. And all 5 games have been awesome. So just, your thoughts on the Thunder 3-2 advantage, and do you think they close it down to 6?
So I do, like I said in our prediction show, I have this going 7. I think Indy's just a scrappy team. However, we witnessed a historic performance by Tyrese Haliburton on Monday night. And historic for all the wrong reasons. He became the first all-star NBA player to miss every shot in a finals game since 1958.
You wait, hold on. You mean it wasn't Jason Tatum?
No. Well, Tatum.
I'm not. This is not towards you. It's just the Tatum discourse. It wasn't that broke down. Wow, that's a shocker.
No, he defers in the finals, but Haliburton was 0 for 6. Clearly, something's wrong with his right calf. Like, it's very clear that he's trying to play through it. But listen, this entire postseason, I've been like, I can't believe that they voted, that 14 players out of 96 players that actually voted him most overrated. And he's been living it up, tearing it up. But
right,
listen, the Pacers cannot win a game against the stacked Thunder when Haliburton scores 4 points. I mean, you still had TJ McConnell coming up the bench scoring 18, Obi Toppin dropping 12. Siakam looks like he's in his prime, dropping 28. If all of those things happen normally, Haliburton drops 18, 20, they win that game. Like, he was the reason they lost.
Yeah. Right. And once again, that's one of your favorite statements. Like, you can be, you may not be the reason they win, but you can't be the reason why they lose. And yeah, I mean, once again, that team is loaded. Both teams are loaded. Once again, I think OKC is just deeper, but Yeah, I mean, like I said, I know a guy up the road that, like I said, would have got killed for that performance last night. So I'm glad that you brought that to light. But even on the stuff I've seen today, like it hasn't really been too much discourse on it. It was just like, oh, it's a 1 game thing, and he'll bounce back. And once again, I like Haliburton. So I don't want to sit here and give slander to that. But once again, we're critiquing the game, and the game itself was awful. You can't go 0-6. And yes, he's hampered. We saw that happen last year against the Celtics too. Like he went through a couple of games, and I think game 3 he was out for something. I forget what injury he had, but that may be becoming a thing. And once again, he's 25 years old. 25. And if you're already having these lingering injuries where you can't finish at the end, once again, these guys train the year round, so they say, and they're with their trainers and they do all this stuff, and it's just like for you to get to the NBA Finals and then their body starts to break down, it's not a good look. I feel differently than what you. I think that Oklahoma City gets it done in Game 6 out there. I think they just finally smell blood, and I think they played with Indiana long enough. I think that they have the better team, obviously. And like it was clear that they didn't take them seriously the first couple of games. It was clear. Like it was clear. They was just like, hey, we've been the best team all year. We're just happy, we're kind of just happy to be here type thing. And Indiana said, no, we're gonna come take it. And they did what they've been doing all postseason, which is winning game 1. And obviously they got smoked in game 2, but they came back and regained home court in game 3. So yeah, I mean, hey, their season's on the line, obviously, and like I'm excited to see how Haliburton responds. I hope that he was able to suck it up for this game, and because I think they'll have.
I would love,
Yeah, they'll
I
have.
would love nothing more if he dropped 40 on
Yeah,
Thursday.
I'll see 40, but can you give me 29 and 8?
Yeah,
Something like that. Because once again they have enough guys that can score. So Turner, Mathurin, McConnell has become Peyton Pritchard of this playoff run. Like he has been awesome during this run, and I didn't think he was this good. I didn't. I see him have some moments of Philly. I figure where,
I didn't think Siakam was still this good, dude.
but this we tried, but we I mean we were joking about it, but we tried to tell Dave that Toronto team was just not Kawhi, right?
Right.
And I'm sure when he hears this, he'll come.
Although he'll say when Kawhi left, the team did nothing, and sure,
No, right, but I mean, there's a reason. I mean, granted, yeah, but to the Siakam point, like I didn't think that he could still play at this level.
right.
And honestly, this might be the best ball that he's played in his career because he was a young guy on that Toronto team that won. Excuse me, in 2019, it was more going through Lowry and Kawhi. So they had that. Excuse me. So I was like, wow. But yeah, I don't know. He's been really good, but it makes sense, right? Like when you're the guy that's been there, he played in the finals and he played against Steph. And once again, as good as SGA is, he ain't Steph, he ain't Durant, he ain't Clay. So
Well, he's about to do something that KD could never do, and that's win a championship with the team he was drafted with.
yeah, I mean that to me, and this is just because I'm a KD guy. Like I was hoping Indiana to find a way to pull this off because there's no way a team would. And once again, this is not. I'm not disrespecting. I'm just saying. I think SGA is a problem. I think he's really talented. I think he's a good player. But when you have Jalen Williams, aka Project Pat, as a rapper from our younger era or age, Jalen Williams was like Project Pat, and with Project Pat being the second best player, I'm just not fully sold. Once again, they're gonna win it probably. So it's like whatever. He'll be the second option, but it's gonna be different when he gets like a $200 million deal from like Chicago. Because they're gonna break up soon because they can't pay everybody. So, but I say that to say, you're not telling me that SGA, Lou Dort, Jalen Williams, Alex Caruso is better than KD, Serge, Russ, and James Harden. Like, like they man. So once again, that 2012 team They got to the finals pretty easily too. They beat I think they beat LA in 5. Who they played in the second round? Would have been Dallas. No, they played Dallas in the conference finals. No, they played San Antonio in the conference finals. Beat San Antonio in 6. I think who they beat in the second round, but that team was I thought they was on their way to getting at least 3 or 4. Cause they should have with that roster. But even then, OKC with this iteration now, they may just get this one and not get another one because it's hard to get there, and your availability.
Well, but they've been the best team in the West two straight years.
Yes, but this is all happening while these guys are on their rookie deals, except for SGA. And you have, once again, if, for instance, and I think we talked about this, or you might have brought this up because you was joking about all the Giannis scenarios. If Indiana found a way to come back and win, would you move some of those guys to go get Giannis to pair with SGA?
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, yes, 1,000% yes, but I still think Giannis makes the most sense in either San Antonio or Houston.
Man, him and Wemby. Oh my God.
I know.
I mean,
I know.
Like and that they with that they literally could be in the conference finals next year. Like
I know.
with like that's wow, yeah. Like because you wouldn't score on them.
You get the ghost of Chris Paul at point guard still, and you can finally win the championship.
You got De'Aaron Fox, you got Stephon Castle, who once again, I'm doing my victory lap soon, like I did with Derek White. I'm telling y'all, Castle, he's next. He's one of those guys that we're gonna look at in a few years, and when he's up for a deal, if San Antonio don't give it to him, hey Brad or whoever's there, figure it out because he's like that. So. I enjoy his game a lot. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, it looks like, as far as Durant goes, I guess Durant wants to go to Houston, Miami, or San Antonio. So,
well, his number 1 pick was the Knicks, and the Knicks don't have any interest in him.
Yeah, but apparently he wanted to come here at the trade deadline. I was like, for who though? Who they had dealt? It might have been Porzingis at the time, but so that could lead us into some Celtics talk. But I just, that to me, I don't know what sense that would have made to get him at that.
None.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it makes some sense now, though. Oh, it makes some sense now. If you're telling me that Porzingis gets us KD as a 1-year rental until we get Tatum back, okay. I'm in. Like, I'm in.
But
I'm in.
I don't see the new ownership group going that far above the tax to do that. Because if you're going to offload Porzingis, it's literally to get yourself below the tax threshold.
Yeah, that's true. I just maybe we're all being worked. Maybe they say, you know what, Tatum's injury was unfortunate. Well, we're gonna give y'all one more go around because that's a possibility that could happen. Because we haven't talked about. People just automatically assume like it's over. You gotta trade Jrue. You gotta trade KP. As much as I like Jrue, he's the only guy I would move. I'm not moving off Porzingis. I'm not. I don't think that's.
I mean, in 2 seasons, he hasn't shown up in the playoffs at all.
No, I was except for the 1 game, right? But I just we've seen this man patch up and come back in the game 5 that he didn't have to come back, and gave us a Willis Reed type performance.
Yeah, but that was
I'm sorry. Like I just think because of his rapport with Brown, right? Because him and Jaylen Brown are close. I feel like you and I are the cookies and cream of MTP, but we get that on a t-shirt.
I assume I'm the cookie.
Yeah. So sorry, Holland. Love you, mean it. But no, I don't know. And I said this on the show with Dave. I was like, the slander. I get that some of it's warranted because you want him to be healthy and be on the court, obviously. To me, I don't know, like he's also in the final year, right? And I just always feel like guys get healthier in their contract year. they get healthier, they play better, which is what he did in Washington. That led you to say, hey, he's doing really well down there in Washington. Why don't you just take the risk? They did. They won the championship. So,
in spite of him.
His game one set the tone. That won the series. That from game one, it was over after that.
Stop.
Okay. And I'm sure someone will listen to this and be like, "That's crazy." But game one, when he came back and scored 20 points, had that sequence in the first quarter, that game was over as soon as he came out there and dominated. Like there was nothing that Dallas can do. They had no answer. And it's unfortunate that he had the injury, I think, in game two, because I think he was on his way to having a phenomenal series. So that's that. Once again, forever good in my book for what he did in game one. Forever good. Like
It's JD Jrue.
Yeah, sure. And once again, even then, that happened in the ALCS. It didn't happen in the World Series. You know what I'm saying? It was Mike Lowell who dominated against Colorado. So, shoot, Bobby Kilty had a better run than JD Jrue in the championship round. But whatever. That's another day. But I don't know. I just my gut for just once again, just for this last season, let him play out this contract. Once again, if you feel that it's not working by February, then by all means, let him go. Let him go. But I think to start the season, once again, comes in because they didn't have any offseason surgery, comes in, hopefully they get the respiratory thing under control. I don't know. My gut says keep him and Brown together and let them go to work. And I think we'd be in still very good shape come April. I really do. Because depending on what you got for Holiday, you still be a top 4 seed easily.
Yeah.
Easily. And Porzingis has been the curveball, as they mentioned. He's been the curveball. When he was healthy and he was, once again, they operate out of the paint, not always having him shoot a million threes, he dominated. So I just think, to me, give that one more go with him and Brown. I don't know. My gut just says keep that. Once again, if you're going to let go of Jrue, as much as I don't want to see Jrue go, I think Jrue has been everything that we needed instead of what Marcus Smart did. I don't know. Okay, you see that Washington wants to let him go too. So, but I there's no way I would trade Jrue down there for Marcus.
No, fuck no.
No, I'm saying I don't think Brad would do. I don't think Brad would disrespect Jrue like that. I think he's going to trade Jrue. He's going to trade to a contender, which is why the Dallas deal makes a lot of sense. He played with AD. He played after Phil. He played with all there, but he played with AD. Obviously, they're getting Cooper Flag. You get Kyrie back, so the fact that you get Jrue Holiday coming off the bench for that team, crazy. And if we would get Gafford and PJ Washington back in the deal, if that was the case, that would be really good.
I would love that. That solves so many problems.
Yeah, it really does. So that to me, because now once again, if you do have the Porzingis, the gap where he doesn't play, Gaff is a really good backer because once again, Cornette's probably gone. So
and Al's older.
Right. So it's just like, but once again, Al's been Mr. Reliable when it's mattered. But it's just like, how many times can you keep going to the well? And at some point he's going to slow down. You
see it when he has to play extended amount of time during the regular season. He's worse in the playoffs. We saw this year.
Right. Exactly. So, yeah, I think he gives it one more go around with him, like talking about Al. I said, I don't know. I think to me it's easier to move off the guard. Maybe you get another team involved and you just go from there. But I think to me, yeah, Jrue would be the easier thing. So, we'll see how that goes. But, either way, if they stay at 28 though, and I want this on record, there's a kid from Michigan. His name is Danny Wolf. If he's there at 28, Brad, it's a no-brainer. He's a forward, 6'11" forward. He can shoot it. It's a no-brainer. Once again, y'all heard me talk about the Will Campbell pick. He's here. You've heard me talk about Derek White. He's here. You've heard Michael about Kristaps Porzingis. I'm telling y'all, when the stuff that we're saying on here is not out of left field. We're not just giving you hot takes. We have some at times. I'm telling y'all, if Danny Wolf from Michigan is there at 28, and there's also a kid from Temple, I forget his name off my head. I have to go back and look. Someone told me about this pretty good too. He's more of the Jordan Walsh thing, so I'm just like, I just rather see Jordan Walsh develop than getting another guy that's like him, in my opinion. But Danny Wolf, if he's there at 28, or if you want to trade up to get Danny Wolf at 19 or 20, you do it, because that's your Cornette replacement. But he can shoot. Well, Cornette can shoot too. He just wasn't doing it here, but that's your Cornette replacement. If you get him, and he's younger, like I said, he can rebound, he can shoot. Like, it's a no-brainer. So you get that. So, but yeah, any last thoughts?
No, I think it's time we wrap this bitch up.
Cool. Well, it's a no-brainer, that you continue to listen to us, because we give you what you need. So for Money Mike Marcangelo, Hollywood Rayshawn Buchanan, until next time, we'll see you.